The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Well, hello and welcome to another installation of the culture of music and film. I'm D Nice. For those that don't know, we're here at the beautiful Morris Media Studios. And I'm surrounded, like always, with beautiful women that have their opinions, and they're going to bring you what they have to share, but it is their opinion. There's no licensed psychologist on deck. Okay, so we're not trying to change your lifestyle, we're trying to enhance it. Okay, so if you hear something up here that can help you find a way through that murkiness, that tired drudgery you're going through, somebody that's going to be on the panel that can help you make it from point A to point B with less exertion than you're using right now, feel free to call us at 323-293-3375. I did that right, huh?
Yeah, you got
it. All right. Give myself a clap. See, they keep me sharp up here. And then we have YouTube at Morris Media Studios. Or you can go to www.morrismedialive.com on your cell phone, on your tablets, on your phone, and you can be right here on the stage with us. So, today we've got a young lady that we're going to be talking to that I've gotten to know for a few years and watched her grow and watched her work. Meantime, I've done the same thing with these other two ladies that my co-host today that I've met that work with me on television shows and also on radio shows also. So let me start with the youngest member up here. And this young lady, she left the solace, the peace, the quiet, the sanctity of the fast track of New York by way of the DMZ, and she'll tell you what that is. But she left there. She was accomplished. I'm telling you, she graduated, in other words, folks, from a school that taught her all about design, fashion, and thereabout. And so she started her life doing branding for major companies and pushing the fashion industry onto the West Coast with her own brand because she wanted to come out and change her lifestyle from being an icon to a music icon. And so she's out here, and I'm glad she did. She's been out here for a year now. I met her when she got out here 6 months ago. She came and was a part of one of our television shows, and I liked her moxie. This young lady, you'll hear her, she speaks well beyond her age. She's a youngster, take it for granted, but when you hear her, you'll forget that she's a youngster, okay? Meantime, between time, she's a signed artist. She's a recording artist. She writes all of her songs. She's got a music video out, and she's getting ready to take this to another level. Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Miss Von True. Von, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. A nice weekend so far?
Oh, my God. My weekend has been so good. Good. And I have to make one correction. It's the DMV. DMV in the house. D.C., Maryland, Virginia.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not when you go get your paperwork and your license taken away, folks. Okay. Yeah. DMV. Okay, so you had a nice little thing that you went to this weekend, right, for music?
Yes. I had a few little different events I went to. Revolt TV, Diddy's television network. They had a whole summit out here this past weekend, 3-day summit. But on Thursday night, I had dropped by this little event where they had a few music executives in there, A&Rs, different people, just kind of performing and watching the waves. You know what I mean? So I jumped out there and I was just primarily networking.
Right,
that's what the best artists do.
That's
network,
how you got to do it.
You feel me? So that's what I mainly was doing, and got approached with, a few different opportunities that you might hear about later.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for joining us and coming in and showing out.
Thanks for having me. Because
you're doing the most. This other young lady I have to my far left, this young lady's been in the music industry for, I'm going to let her put that number and fill in the blank. But she's always been known as the beast of the recording industry because she is an entertainment attorney. She gets your papers right. And if you know anything about the entertainment industry and you're seeing people fall by the left and for the right and go into jail for tax evasion, all that, guys, it's probably because you don't have a dope entertainment attorney. Let's be right. So this is what she does. And she is graciously come on board and working with us on the television aspect, doing interviews on the television side and also on the radio side. And she's here to bring her expertise as far as telling you how to get your papers done, keep them in order, and keep yourself paid. Is that correct? So how was your weekend?
It was great. Like she said, there were a lot of things going on. There was the revolt. We went to the Cannabis Commission because I also help people with their cannabis licenses, and there was a big complaint going on because there was a lot of unethical things going on, a lot of, we knew it was going to be a lot of stuff in the background, but, it was supposed to be for social equity candidates who are people who are in the neighborhood and who have prior felonies, drug-related. It was supposed to be a reparation. So why is it that most of the people that get the licenses are Armenian? It's like,
right.
Why is that happening?
Wow. Yeah.
So, they shouldn't even be anywhere near it. And everybody that got up that wasn't black was booed, pretty much.
Wow.
Because they were coming up saying, oh, yeah, this didn't go right for me. And we're like, yeah, well, it wasn't even supposed to be for you. I mean, it was supposed to be for people in South Central Los Angeles. There were certain zip codes and certain income requirements and things. And I know that I had a client, he actually is a rapper, and he signed in Revolt. And he's called Vision or Supervision, and he's blind. And so I took him up there, and, a lot of people knew him, and they knew him from the industry. So he talked to them about the fact that they were not in compliance with the ADA laws. And I had asked for accommodations twice, didn't even get a response.
Wow.
So, that's a lawsuit right there because they have to be ADA compliant, and they didn't even try. They didn't even, respond. So it's interesting, but yeah, there's a lot going on. And then they had a preview of the Dolomite movie too.
Oh wow! Okay.
Eddie Murphy and Dolomite. I met him back in the day. He was a mess. So he actually inspired a lot of people.
Right.
And he had inspired Eddie Murphy, but he never got paid the way that he was supposed to get paid.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Especially for his influence and for what he meant to the industry and how he had changed the game in an underground kind of way. And he never actually got recognized for that until later on. But by that time, he ended up passing away. But there are people that still pay homage to him. And so this documentary movie, about his life is something that Eddie Murphy took up as a pet project to make people aware of Dolomite and who he really is and was to the, to comedy and to different, what he meant to the entertainment industry.
Right, unsung heroes, guys. And for those that don't understand what cannabis is, come on now. Do I have to spell it out for you guys?
Spell it out.
Okay. Toke pass. All right, now let's pass it on. Okay, this next young lady who we're having on our dais the first time. This young lady I met a few years ago in an organization called Toastmasters, which is a worldwide organization that teaches you how to effectively communicate by teaching you how to use your vocalizing skills and develop them and use them to be able to open the doors that you normally can't open. And being able to give an elevator speech or talk to somebody and tell them what you need to do within the first 30 seconds to get their attention, that is a trick of the trade, and we learn to do that. And also, we found out that it helps to work with your leadership skills. like this young lady actually needs leadership skills. She is an ordained minister. She has several graduate degrees and degrees behind her name, and, doing so much out there in the community. We had to find a way to just have her narrow it down. So she's going to narrow it down today and talk about a young woman's organization that she was blessed and gifted to be able to be a part of and starting up. And it's been a blessing to the community, and she is trying to do some broadening and actually enhance what she's doing in the community field, because it's time for us to just come out of the byways and highways, and sometimes you got to take that light into the darkness. And so it's time to just take it out there and let them see what we're doing, because South Central is not just South Central anymore. People are trying to buy up into it, so it's telling us something about South Central. Somehow, then, it's getting a light other than it all started in Compton, the streets of Compton. So that's a blessing. So this young lady's here to shine a light by helping young girls find that way to make themselves all that they can be, to be on a pathway to be like this young lady was when she first started out. And she's still a young lady anyway, but they have examples. And this lady helps to groom the examples. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about none other than Miss Helena Titus. Helen, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for inviting me.
And I want you to just take some time for a second and go back anywhere you want to start from, because I'm not going to bring the jackhammer out and just start. But I want to find out a little bit about that journey. What we call that journey starts from a step and goes to that 1,000,000 miles. So let's start about the journey start.
Well, I am really excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's cool that I have someone in the legal field on one side and someone in the music field on the other side, because anyone who knows me knows I am music activated. They also know that I come from a legal family. I have uncles who are judges, a sister who's a judge. Both of my sisters are lawyers by trade, and so is my father. And we've got legal stuff coming out of our ears. But I wasn't like that. I like to have tea parties. Put on pretty dresses, feed people. Not big fat meals, but just little meals. And I did that my entire life. For my Christmas presents, I would ask for a tea set every year. And when I was very small, they were plastic, but they got to be finer and finer as I got older. And to this day, when you go into my house, you will see teapots all around the shadow box, because I love that. God will take who you are and use it if you let him. God took my love of tea parties and hosting people and created an organization called Power Girls, where I'm able to bring accomplished women with very, very young women in urban settings and help them see themselves. We set up casual connections where they can talk, where the young women can ask questions in their field of interest, where the older women get to talk about their experience, their whole experience, not just their successes, but also their failures. We specifically ask them to talk about their childhood, because you see them and they're very polished, they have many degrees, they've got on the red bottom shoes, they're fly, but you don't see that they were raised in foster care. You don't see that they were sexually abused. You don't see that their father left when they were 3. You don't see their mother was on drugs. You don't see that their grandmother was mentally ill. You don't see those things. You just see the outward success. So we give them an opportunity to share their journey so that the young people can see, oh, that could be me. Once you get a glimpse of who you can be, nothing can stop you. Because nothing can eradicate that very first vision of who you can be. That's a God-given gift that He gives everybody.
That sounds very inspiring.
We're going to take some pictures. We'll take a look at some of the pictures that you have on some of the. I think it's you'll be able to set it up for us.
Sure.
Okay, so let's roll some of the pictures in and let's see what's going on here.
Occasionally, I'm called upon to give the cover of prayer to political action. I think that everyone should have the opportunity to earn a living at whatever it is that they do. And collective work and responsibility is one of the things that we stand for. Every year we have a tea party, which is our main fundraiser, where we give the Titus II Awards. And in this year, Dr. Jean Perez was the recipient of the Excellence in Women's Ministry Award. Kirsten Chavez was our Miss Power Girl Award, who is a young woman that is doing extraordinary things in her community. And Dr. Harriet Flowers Williams was the recipient of the Jonice G. Titus Lifetime Achievement in Community Service Award. We do a back-to-school leadership lunch. You know, somehow young ladies, when they hit high school, if they're not carefully groomed, they turn off to academics. We want to encourage girls to go to school, stay in school, finish school with success. I also speak when I am asked and talk about not God esteem, not self-esteem, but your image, how God created you. And the funny thing is, when I talk to the young ladies, it is the older women in the group that end up asking me more and more questions about dreams that they had when they were younger that they did not realize. Occasionally we have a competition called Miss Power Girl. It is not a pageant, it's a competition. It's about health, wellness, and speaking. And that was our very first Miss Power Girl. Another activity that we have is the Clergy Women Toastmasters Club, where we use the Toastmasters platform to create a safe space for women in ministry to come and talk and fellowship, sharpen their skills, because many times women in ministry don't get the opportunity to get that training. It's kind of the old boys club. We take our girls out into the community so they can see other women. Congresswoman Karen Bass, who is now just doing the most on Capitol Hill, we're so proud of her. She's been a supporter of Power Girls for many years. And we champion education. I graduated from Claremont School of Theology with a master's in divinity. We want everyone to go as far as they can. Education is a good thing, no matter what your field is. I'm a preacher. I am ordained non-denominationally. However, I spent the last 7 years in the United Methodist Church as a local pastor, where I was invited to speak in many places. We also advocate for women's issues and girls' issues, and we were on Capitol Hill that year advocating for women's issues, health issues. So that's kind of it. We do a little bit of everything. We want to speak truth to power and be a model, but also create opportunities for young women and older women to come together and learn from one another. I'm constantly inspired by the young women I'm involved. In fact, they took my phone and said, "Pastor T, what do you mean you don't have a Cash App?" And they took it and put on Venmo and Cash App and other things. I said, okay. I didn't know anything about it. They're constantly cluing me in on things that I don't know, which is great.
Yeah,
Speaking of the modernization of everything that goes on in the world today, I truly commend you for all the platforms and the plethora of things that you dive into, especially bringing the older women, the successful women, and also the young girls together. I don't know what age range you start at when it comes to the young girls, but in a time where a lot of their perspectives are zoomed into what they may perceive as reality, like social media and things like that, but isn't really reality. When you do your tea parties, I'm sure they greatly love the fact that they are able to come in the same room, understand these women, see them as who they are right now, and understand their trials, their errors, and that you can be this too. That is truly heartwarming.
Thank you. We work really hard on it. Our next annual tea is on December 15th. We host all of the young ladies that do come for free for all of our activities all the time. So we always need money. Amen.
So
Pass the plate.
Where is it going to be and when? You said on the date, but what time?
3 o'clock, which is high tea time. And it's going to be at Crenshaw United Methodist Church in Hammond Hall, where the Right Reverend Porter is the pastor, who just happens to be here.
Yeah, you'll see him later.
So you want to give us the address?
3740 Don Felipe Drive. It's $40 suggested donation ahead of time. You can go to my website, which is pgmin.org, and secure your space, or it's $50 at the door.
Okay, so now we talked about the little housekeeping that comes with that one. Let's get into a little bit of meat. So how can the community get behind and help you? What do you need right now? I know you're amassing a new group of ladies because they come through and keep going and pass. So what do you need right now? Talk to us.
We are recruiting a new set of girls. I'm thrilled that the young women, we have touched well over 350 lives of young women over the 13 years that we have been actively doing this. And I've been doing it part-time, as well as the board and all of the volunteers. We want to take this to the next level. I have a plan to do an academy called Power Girl Code. We want to partner with Silicon Beach and actively teach leadership skills and coding skills to young women, as well as keep our focus on health and wellness. We need young women. I need young women. I'm out of the age range where young women are actively in my life. So I need you to bring your daughters to the website to sign up to be a Power Girl.
So what age group are you looking at?
Middle school. So you have to be at least in middle school because we deal with mature subject matters. So middle school is the youngest. You have to be in the 6th grade at this point. Then middle school, high school, college, and career. So we extend to the age of 25. And they're 3 separate groups.
Well, there are several different grants for coding, and there's other nonprofits you could partner up with that have the coding boot camps.
The challenge with most grants, see, Power Girls is distinctly faith-based, and many grants have exclusions for faith-based activity. Even when you are parsing, well, we're going to do this part that is just this, and then we're going to do the other faith part over here.
Well, basically, though, I write grants, and so you have to just compartmentalize that. I worked for Jewish Vocational Services for a long time, and they get a lot of money, a lot of government money, and they definitely, but they pipeline some over here. Like we had a vocational training program, and one part of it goes through the Ezra network, which is through the synagogues. But the other part is open to everyone, and it's as long as it's non-secular as far as who you take in. It's not required that somebody be a certain religion or something like that. then, it should be okay. I mean, it's just basically the way you write the grant. I mean, I know that there's a lot of grants because my mom has a nonprofit called Go STEAM for Girls, and she basically wants to teach girls. She does robotics and coding, and she does little pop-up schools and things like that. And I help her with that sometimes because I set up people's nonprofit agencies and do things like that too. So I know there's the grants out there. There definitely are, those type of things because there's a lot of issues now with trafficking and girls just getting off into the wrong area because they don't have the support. They started to give support to boys through the gang reduction youth development programs, but they kind of left the girls by the wayside.
Exactly.
And so now they need more support for girls.
Exactly. When we started this years ago, there really was zero spotlight on girls. Mm-hmm. We had a whole sports program knowing that girls don't typically participate in sports, especially when you get to middle school and high school, and we're talking about urban girls, primarily African American girls, not trying to get their hair messed up. We were looking at what kind of physical activity could we involve them in. We worked up an entire program that was well received. We brought it to LA 84, which is the organization
for AYSO, and they sponsor the different sports. Yeah,
exactly. And unfortunately, we were not funded, not because it wasn't a good program, but because it wasn't a Title IX sport.
Because you didn't have boys involved?
Because it wasn't a Title IX sport. That was the letter we received.
Well, Title IX is basically not, that you're single sex. But, that's what's supposed to open up football and baseball and everything else. Because technically, all sports should be open to both genders. Or now there's people that want to be called different genders. So now it's like it should be open to everyone no matter what their
So my question
orientation is.
We just, again, as a part-time volunteer program, we just couldn't make any further adjustments on that part. But I know that there are activities that would be interesting to middle school and high school girls that are physically active that may not be flag football, that they should be able to get funding for in order to increase the physical activity and work with them in moving towards a health and wellness, holistic lifestyle.
Okay.
So I'd be happy to talk with you later.
See, that's the connection. Now, we're going to take, because we're zooming down, so make that appeal right now. Look out there into your audience right there in the camera and talk to them and tell them what they need to do. Those that, we're going to take care of what we're talking about right here. But ladies and gentlemen, it's compelling upon you to listen to your heart and your mind and know that we have come to a certain level because those people like yourself saw the need and decided they were not going to sit on the sideline any further. So I'm hoping we're talking to some new ones that have joined that force too. We got to make a change, and it starts with us. So we want you to listen to this young lady and dig in your pocket and help out, because good things come when you help working with young ladies, because they are our future. Don't get it twisted. Look at this one here. Look at this one here. Look at this one here. The list goes on and on. We need your help. Go ahead and talk.
I'm a product of Los Angeles, born and raised, LA Public Schools. I know that there are people of goodwill who are willing to pour into the lives of young women. Our nonprofit, Disciples in Action Los Angeles, is a 501c3. And any finances that you donate, you can receive a tax deduction for that. You can donate directly on our website, www.pgmin.org, and select the one-time donation of any amount. We typically host 20 young women at our tea, as well as the adults that come. We know that we are moving into a new direction, and we will need more money. We are asking for any amount. That would be very helpful. We also need your girls. So go right to that website, www.pgmin, complete the interest form that is right on the website, and we will contact you so that you can have your niece, your daughter, your little cousin, your granddaughter, your great niece, the little girl down the street.
All them, mama and them's kids and everybody else. We need that.
We've had people literally take their car, fill it up with girls, and bring them to our events. We have quarterly events. Pastor Royce has been so much of a blessing that our quarterly events are starting back up. We have the Teen Health Seminar where we have a staff of doctors that give frank and open discussions about health care for teenage girls. Mm-hmm. We have Judge Titus, who sits over the domestic violence restraining orders in the county of Los Angeles, talk about domestic violence and teen dating and things that young women need to be aware of. Oh my gosh, we have mental health experts that come and talk about how to deal with stress and resiliency. It's a fantastic program. I can't wait to get started in 2020, but I need the help of the community this year in a way that we've never needed it.
Well, you know what? We're going to keep on pushing the agenda here on the show. Mm-hmm. And anytime we can just have you just stop by and talk to us, we'll do that because we're going to keep an eye on what's going on. And we got Pastor over here on the sideline. We're getting ready to come on deck. And I can already see his mind thinking about them school buses that they're going to bring in. You know what I'm saying? Hey, speak those things as if they were, right? We speak them out there. So, ladies and gentlemen, just listen to your heart, and God will give you the direction because you're going to be spending that money on something. And if you save a girl, you never can tell. The life you save of that daughter may be your own. So, Helena, thanks for coming on the show.
Could I tell one real quick story?
Go ahead.
The Back to School Leadership Lunch, we typically do it every year in September. This year, I had a donor that donated a laptop. It was the desire of my heart to give away a laptop. We always give away school supplies. Well, this donor gave a laptop, said, here, give it to whoever. We decided to do an essay contest right there that day. When the girls came in, they got a piece of paper. They had to write an essay on school. They turned it in. I had a panel of judges. I couldn't be the one to judge. When they pulled the paper and said, this is the winning essay, in the room was a young woman who had gone to live with a friend of mine who was a pastor because her mother had put her out. She was 17 years old and a B-plus student with a scholarship to college. But she graduated from high school and the mother would not sign the financial aid papers, so she could not take the scholarship. She was going to community college and staying and taking the bus late at night back and forth because she had to stay at the community college to use the computers to do her homework. Well, she was there in the room. When they passed me the essay for the winner, I start to read it. It was her essay, and she talked about how she was determined to get an education, how she was grateful that somebody had been willing to take a chance on her. There wasn't a dry eye in the place when she heard her essay being read, and the judges didn't know that. She got a laptop that she needed so that she wouldn't have to be on the bus in the middle of the night. That's the power of Power Girls. Because somebody was willing to donate a brand new laptop. Now, I know that there are people out there who have excess discretionary funds. You might want to go to Starbucks. You might want to take a trip to Aruba. Do that. But think about the children who, if just a sliver of the money that you spend throwing it away, if you would donate that money so that a young girl could have an opportunity. Our motto is teach a girl, change the world.
Right. And that's what we're doing. So, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
And we're going to follow up on this one here and keep it posted. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after a slight break, and we've got some more surprises for you right here on the culture of music and film. I'm D Nice, along with
Von True,
Rhonda Dixon,
and Miss Helena Titus. We'll be right back.
This day will surely come along. Has some angels watching me to make sure that I fulfill my destiny. You chose me and knew all that I would be without me knowing. And now everything's alright. My journey's out of sight, and it's all because of you. There ain't nothing I can do. I can see my life in you. Now I can live. I can see my life with you. Now I can live forevermore. I can see my life in you. Heaven must have known that this day would surely come along. Has some angels watching me to make sure that I fulfill my destiny. You chose me and knew all that I would be without me knowing. And now everything's alright. My journey's out of sight, and it's all because of you. There ain't nothing I can do. I can see my life in you. Now I can live. I can see my life with you. Now I can live forevermore. I can see my life in you. Now I can live.
Welcome back. This is the culture of music and film. I am D Nice Steele, and we'd like to thank the Women of Prominence and 4 Point Media for bringing the show to you. I still have.
Von True.
She's still true, and she's still here. We have shifted around and changed the scenery for a couple of our guests today. At the far end, you met this young lady last week, and she came in doing some great things in the IE, some great things in the world, Southern California. You name it, they know about Phyllis. Phyllis been a part of the, what's it called, the entertainment industry. Let's call it that for anything else. You know what I'm saying? With one of the badges that they call the parole officer. That's the entertainment industry nowadays.
It is.
Because there's a lot of craziness.
Right. Let the change go. My God.
So sometimes you got to laugh, keep from crying, don't you? Man, have mercy.
I had the change put on me. My God.
That's what I'm saying. And she gave us a great testimony. So we're going to start out with you, Phyllis, and kind of bring those abreast of it today, and then we're going to introduce. You have a chance to introduce your guest today.
Well, my name is Phyllis McNeil. I am the founder of the Straight Talk program, I implemented it in 1990 because of my own background as an adolescent, teenager, runaway, abused alcohol at a very young age, come from a dysfunctional family. I had all the ingredients to keep going down that wrong road, in which I was going. I had one foot in the gravesite, jail, and drug abuse and everything. I was have a PhD in being abused, physically, psychologically, sexually. But I had two guardian angels came to me and rescued me. You know, I got kicked out of junior high schools, like changing diapers. Every time you look around, I was getting kicked out. But they said I would never make it out of high school, but I made it out of high school.
Hey.
I was in foster care. I went from foster care home, and I had a social worker, but you know what, my behavior, it led me into a probation officer. Things started to change. I got into my last placement, the Jacqueline Girls Home, and my life went uphill and still going downhill. And that's why I implemented the Straight Talk program, because I know if you help people without hitting agendas, I'm a prime example, you can change their mindset, change their behavior without abusing them, but just having a pure heart.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And I want you to introduce this young man to your right and to my left here. It's sandwiched in between us here. Knowing he's on the hot seat. That's the hot seat right there. So come on, introduce this man.
This is Reverend Royce Porter. He is the Reverend of Crenshaw United Methodist Church. I've been doing prison ministry over there with their prison ministry, Save Our Son. That church have supported the Straight Talk program for 21 years. I mean, one of the members in there nominated me as Parole Agent of the Year. I received Parole Agent of the Year from the Probation and the Parole Department. That landed me a big magazine, story in my magazine, landed me into the textbook because of their members, their church members adopted the Straight Talk program. Plus, they gave one of my Straight Talk speaker a job. He couldn't find a job when he got out of prison. But Crenshaw United Methodist Church, they get out in the trenches. They get out of the community. They're not all about the pastor's not all about working on the mic in the church. They get out there and help people in the community. So I'm going to let Pastor Roy Porter, he's been doing a lot of stuff with Straight Talk and Saving Our Son. And not only do we save sons, we save everybody in the community.
I love it, yeah, because our sons have grown up and be grown men now. Some of them are still doing time. Unfortunately.
We're working on it.
I know you are. So, when do you have time to now? You don't have a little church. I was first familiarized with your church when we had a Toastmasters event.
Yes.
And I said, I like the little hall, because the hall part of it we had reminded me of one of those cabins that you go to and Ma'am and Big Bear. And I'm like, I'm looking for the stuffed animals on the wall. I'm like, I'm loving this, you know what I'm saying? But little did I know that was attached to a bigger complex in the church and whatever else. And so then when I kind of put it all together, I'm like, okay, so that means it has it's a church that's got a minister here. And so the first thing that comes to my mind is one of these guys that, is suited and booted and 500 years old and got the covered wagon in the back, you know what I'm saying, or old DeSoto, you know what I'm saying?
Not this time around.
And then I met you, and I'm like, okay, he made me go to church again.
Yeah.
Just telling on myself. Huh? So, what was it that really brought you? Let's go back a little bit. What brought you into the ministry? What was it that one day? You said like I'm going back. Huh?
I am going back. The thing is that I was born and raised. I mean, the interesting thing is you hear Sister Phyllis's story and all the things that she has gone through, and all the things that she has endured, and how she's made it out.
Okay.
My story is totally different.
Wow.
Where coming from a two-parent home where mother and father still to this day are still married, born and raised in Inglewood, California, but went to a private school all the way in Cyprus for high school, and with an older brother and a younger sister. And my mom and dad made sure they didn't want me to be a part of the neighborhood, per se.
Gotcha.
And so the church is what we did from.
Yeah.
So let's see. I went to private schools,
Right.
So I got it all day,
Right.
and then I came home and got a little bit more,
Right.
And then we went to Wednesday Bible study, Saturday children's choir, Sunday church, chicken dinners after church. What else was there for me to do? What else was there for me?
Right. You just stuck in it.
So being raised in the church and being raised in that family environment,
Right.
how did I, you run from it. Every person that has ever been called to ministry will have a story, a calling story where they actually run from the call. I went to, Cal State Northridge and majored in political science. My intention never was to be a pastor whatsoever. But once again, when we're talking about Save Our Sons, that started at Crenshaw United Methodist Church,
Right.
I knew nothing about Save Our Sons or Crenshaw United Methodist Church, but I knew of an individual by the name of Reverend Robert Smith, who is one of the founding fathers of Save Our Sons prison ministry at Crenshaw.
Okay.
But he, watched me all the way through, and he stopped me one day and said, "When are you going to stop running?" And I said, "Running from what?" He said, "Running from your call."
Right.
And so from that day forward, that's what I've been doing. I preached my first sermon probably when I was about 7 or 8 years old on a water stool at Wesley United Methodist Church. And from then, the process has led me now to Crenshaw United Methodist Church. So I've been there for the last 5 years, and, we're having a great time, doing the ministry, because that's what my calling is.
Gotcha.
Preaching is great. Love doing that. But the real call is ministry.
Right.
It's when we can roll up our sleeves. I can wear my Clipper sweatshirt and be all right.
Right, exactly. And go into Laker territory and still be loved.
Well, I can feel good about going to Laker territory now.
So now you got the calling, you're at the church, but it's easy to do church on Sundays and on your Wednesdays and whatever, and stand behind the pulpit and preach to your congregation.
Right.
It's easy to do that. It takes a lot more commitment to come from behind the pulpit.
Yes.
And I know you thought this through.
Yes.
But you chose to come from behind the pulpit and do what you do, and you call it a ministry, and totally it is. And I'm sure people don't know the difference between ministry and preaching.
Correct.
So for those that don't know and those that want to act like they don't know, even the ones that are in the clergy that want to, why don't you explain that little cutting edge for a moment?
I love the way that's how you put it. Ministry, preaching, and standing behind that pulpit is probably the easiest piece that comes to it. There is study and preparation to give a message that God has planted on your heart to deliver, but it's something else when you come from behind that pulpit, and ministry is actively getting involved in the community with the people where they are. Because too often there are people who won't come to church.
Right.
And they won't come to church because they think that that's all it is that Sunday piece. And it's not. And so what we try to do at Crenshaw is that we try to leave from the pulpit and go into the community and meet people right where they are. We have food ministries that we do every Saturday at 10 a.m. that is open to anybody that wants to come and get food. We have the prison ministry that we do. I'm getting letters every week because the program has been in existence for 20-some years. They don't know that the pastor might have changed. They just know that this is the place that takes care of my needs.
Wow. That's right.
So the letters come, and we then have to, respond and help out and find out exactly what's going on, because it's a whole nother life.
Right.
But behind those walls. And when they come from behind the walls back into the community, we have to have programs that are available for them to give them the tools that they need. Too often, you got these young men and young women that are coming out, and they've got to go here, go there, go there.
Right.
We need to streamline that to get them to go to one place at one time to get everything that they need. And that's what Save Our Sons is all about. It's meeting them where they are. Jobs. I mean, we've got people on the board who will hire you so that when you come out, you can get a job.
Wow.
Train you. We've got all of those pieces that are there. And like I said, it's a ministry within the church, but it's more than a ministry.
Right.
Because it's really meeting these young men and women right where they are and preventing young folks from going in.
Right. And being caught up with that, what they call religion. Because, I mean, religion is passe now. We've been through that. You know what I'm saying? They're the first one that brought religion on us. And many a campaign has failed. And everything that has followed behind religion.
Right.
So now it's a reality now to sit back and say, we got some work to do to clean up, and not everybody's trying to do it. Like I said, it's easy. Like I said, not from the perspective of pastors. Don't take it personal when I said it was easy. I'm not trying to demote what you're doing, because I know you have to study to show yourself approved and get the message, whatever. But I'm just saying that it's sterile sometimes when you're doing that. But then you got to come out and get your hands dirty every once in a while. And this man is talking about that part of it here. That's what I'm saying. There's something beyond that. And because long after the church closes and the doors are locked on Sundays and on Wednesdays, you still got people sleeping in the streets in front of the church that need help.
You have people meeting you before church starts and won't come in the church, but they'll meet you on the steps of the church. And that was just this past Sunday.
Right.
Are you the pastor? Yes, I am. Church doesn't start till 10:30. Okay, but I'm hungry now.
Right.
It's 9:30. I'm hungry now.
Right.
So what do? Tell her to wait till 10:30?
Many do.
Well, the reality of it is that you have to meet the needs there. And when people realize what's going on from the church and what's going on through that community, they don't care what time. They'll show up anytime.
Right.
Because that's the place where I can get it.
So what are some of the projects that you see in the near future, per se, that you're saying, okay, this is what needs to be done, and here's how we're going to do it? Because there's always ideas. Everybody got ideas, but the plans of attack are different, and part of your ministry is a plan of attack. So what are some of the plans of attacks you
Well, I think, for one, I mean, Save Our Sons, this program that we have to continue to grow it. It's been a great program that has been housed within our church, but now the time has come for it to kind of grow outside of the church, and grow beyond the church, per se, to continue meeting the needs. I think that's one aspect of what we need to do, but mental health is something else. As a church, we have got to get behind. We've got to figure out how to address, because too often those groups are being pushed away. But mental health and mental illness is coming into play in every area that we deal with. And so I think it's something that we as a community have got to get behind. Not just the church, but as a community to address the needs. And that means we need to be trained on how to address it. What are the signs? All of those pieces, because it's an entertainment field. We have to know how to address it. So, I mean, those are some of the pieces that, I know for sure that we need to work on. At the same time, continue to meet the needs of the homeless, clothing and food, and shelter. The time is coming where winter is coming up soon. And the question becomes, we have a housing crisis right now, a homelessness crisis right now. Where are these people going to sleep? Where are they going? I mean, you've got, some that want to sleep in their cars, but the problem is that if they sleep in their cars in our neighborhoods, they are going to get stopped and they are going to get arrested.
Yes, they will.
So we then have to create programs and opportunities. So I know for us that, our parking lot, I've always said, anytime I've gone out there and someone is sleeping in their car, I tell them, it's all right. It's all right. Just make sure you take care of what needs to be taken care of. We'll get food if you need food. But it's just to keep them safe. And that's what they're really looking for. They're just looking for safety. I'm going through a hard time and I need a safe place to sleep. Well, how do we provide for that during the winter months?
Everything you just said is key. Honestly, it's super key point, because in something hugely that came to me is that you said you want to bring your program beyond the church.
Yes.
And that is huge, because a lot of them are even scared to approach the church or even come to the doorstep before service. You know, it's time to take, especially also mental illness is huge in any aspect of anybody's life. We all get beat, we all get battered, we all go through our issues, and when you don't have someone there to like kind of coach you through or talk to you, and you don't have a relationship with God yet, you don't know what to do with yourself at the end of the day. So when you have those training programs and figure that out, hit me up, because I literally want to specialize in something like that. Like I love psychology, I love certain things like that. So just to bring those aspects together. And I've come from a super Catholic background.
All right,
I went to Wednesday school, Saturday, Sunday.
You
camp,
understand, yes.
But at the same time, rarely did I ever see the man that was speaking up to us on every Sunday at any of those events. At any of those events, you know, which is the craziest thing ever. Right. You know? So it's very key for people to know that you are real. That you're a real person.
And he is real.
Exactly.
You better believe it. He's real. He does a lot in the community.
Right.
Yes.
This is what I call a working pastor in the community, because I drive 60 miles to come to save our son. I've been doing it for 21 years because he's been saving a lot of people from straight talk. From going in and out that revolving doors. We got a lot of professional people in his church, lawyers, doctors, teachers, mental health. They come to the meeting and help. They volunteer. They put on workshops. They give money out. They gave, one time my speakers, they bought 13 tickets at $90. Okay, because someone got an award. 2 of my speakers got an award, so they wanted their families to come.
Beautiful.
What to save our son.
Beautiful. That's so key. Largely key. Because even my brother, like, he got locked up, coming out in a halfway house, couldn't find a job, got back locked up because he couldn't get himself together. It's just like, it's such a system.
And
it's a corrupt
cycle.
system. Yes.
It's a cycle.
Yes.
And we have Save Our Sons is about breaking the cycle.
Yes.
That's what it's about. So that we don't keep going through this over and over and over again.
Yes.
Tell about the event you're going to have November 2nd.
Yeah, please.
Well, what we're doing on November 2nd is a wonderful piece. This will be our 3rd year. We have the children, we call them they're called the Watoto Children of Uganda. And so they only come to L.A. every other year, and so we are blessed and honored to have them come on November 2nd, which is going to be this coming Saturday. They will be there at 6 p.m., and we're going to have a great time. They're going to put on a concert, and we're just going to have a great time with them. So we encourage anybody that wants to come on out this coming Saturday to 3740 Don Felipe Drive in Los Angeles, right there on Don Felipe and Stocker. You can't miss the great big church. Come on out and have a great time with them.
Well, we got a couple minutes left, Pastor, so we're going to give them to you to talk, because I know your parishioners are out there watching you, and I know they appreciate you and you appreciate them. So we'll give you a couple of minutes, man, just to talk about what's going on in your heart right now.
Well, I just praise God for all the blessings that God is bestowing in our lives, and I've just finished a series talking about living a blessed life, and I truly believe that all 4 of us here on this stage are living a blessed life because we understand that all of our blessings come from God. And when you understand that God is in the blessing business, there is nothing that you cannot do. And so whatever it is that you want to achieve, whatever it is you want to accomplish, I'm telling you today that God is willing and able. If you would just call on Him, God will answer. And guess what? God then is going to bless you. So today, you will be blessed by simply calling on Him. And I tell you, whatever you desire, God is going to grant the desires of your heart, because God is a God that doesn't stay up looking high, but God is a God that gets low with us too. And God is there for you. And so just know that He loves you. Know that my job is a job of just coming and being with the people and ministering to the people right where they are. That's what I'm here to do.
I love it. Pastor, thanks for coming down and sharing that with us. And you guys, on November the 2nd, 6 o'clock. You got to be at this church, and you got to hear from these young kids doing things for the Lord.
Yes.
That's what we need more of. And so this is D Nice. You've been watching The Culture of Music and Film with my co-host
Vantru, who also has a show that's coming up this Friday called Conscious Vibes. Check us out at 6:30.
All right now.
And Straight Talk, I'm connected with Save Our Son. Let's Pack Save Our Son meets the third Sunday
There you go.
of every month, except for December, at 2:30 p.m. to 5. Come out and pack the church. You're looking for a church home that's real, that's going to help you. This is a church, Crenshaw United Methodist Church. They have helped me for 23 years in my Straight Talk program.
You heard
That's
it
for
here.
real.
Well, thanks a lot, guys, for coming in and showing up and showing out. And you guys, like I say each and every week, put God first, and everything else will follow. I guarantee it. This is D Nice. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Until the end, stay blessed.
All right.
Heaven must have known that this day would surely come along. Had some angels watching me to make sure that I